Welcome back to the Pod of Greed.
Welcome back indeed, folks. It is another week. Happy Thursday.
Happy Wednesday for us.
We're here to inform you of so many great things.
Or a few great things and then some okay things.
Some dystopian things usually at the end. But there are Yu-Gi-Oh stories this week and other card game stories to talk about.
Though maybe not as much as last week, but you know.
Before we get into it, of course, one's in chat if you're in the YouTube premiere.
Premiere gang, rise up.
If you're not and you're just watching later, that's okay too. You can still leave a like and we'll still like you.
And leave a comment. You can put a 1 in the comments.
More than that, I think. YouTube might count that as spam.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
put
maybe,
2.
Maybe a few words at least. Okay, so I wanted to kind of get a bit of an update going around Genesys format because we're now almost 2 weeks into the sort of genesis of this new format. Zinger. Yeah, and Konami's continued to update their blog post with some just articles that are so surprisingly transparent and forward.
And well thought out and written.
You really would have to wonder, have they just been kind of held captive in that office up until now, unable to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! And so finally they're able to stretch their legs.
Maybe they've been writing articles this whole time, but they just weren't allowed to post them.
Yeah, they've made a lot of interesting posts. You know, last week we were talking about the whole cost of prevention, but they also spotlighted the Blue Eyes White Dragon theme, which I think was a smart choice because a lot of people coming back in would be, they'd be probably interested in that. And how it sort of would have to maybe change and adapt in a Genesys format because it wouldn't have access to certain link monsters and a few of its cards have point values. But they also talk about how some of the things in the Yu-Gi-Oh! May have changed since the last time you played. If you heard about Genesys and you're getting back in and the last time you played was GX or 5Ds or Zexal, they make this article that sort of goes through and says the first turn player doesn't draw anymore. Or
priority is not a thing.
Yeah, priority is not a thing, or maybe field spell stuff. So I thought that was just kind of an interesting
We don't call
approach.
It the graveyard, it's the GY now.
That'd be funny if that's they got really fussy about that. You must refer to it as such.
It's not removed from play, it is banished, and that is the banishment.
So, have you gotten any time to mess around with the Genesys format? Maybe change a few decks?
I have been busy and lazy. However, that is going to change this week as I'm aiming to gentrify your decks. Gentrify? Sure. As I gentrify at least 2 decks and maybe a third.
Yeah, we're hoping to do a little Genesys house tournament video or series of videos here in the next few days.
We're about to be a Genesys channel.
Yeah, we're only going to be Genesys. That's it. There won't be anything else.
Or anything else that catches our fancy. We still have some mystery boxes in that closet, don't we?
Yeah, we have a few things.
Yeah, so we're not.
We need to catch up on.
We're not without cards.
Yeah, so basically, I figure that building decks in Genesys format would make for fun content. It would be an excuse to kind of update our stuff. Like I'd said last time, I'm probably going to turn a lot of my decks just straight up into Genesys decks and only have 1 or 2 advanced decks.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have many advanced format decks when you can only play 1 deck at a time. And given the state of Yu-Gi-Oh today, it makes if you're playing advanced format, it makes way more sense to pour your time and energy into 1 strategy and perfecting that than playing around with 3 different decks and not knowing all the ins and outs of every play that you could possibly expect during tournament.
Yeah, I saw that there have been a lot of Genesys format tournaments happening over the weekend as well. Yep. I saw Farfa did one, and the Odeon, I think, deck, the Man with the Mark, was actually the most prominent deck in the top 8, which is only 2 spots or something, but it was very diverse. I thought that was cool to see that strategy, which seemingly, I guess, it's translated well to Genesys format. I don't remember offhand if any of the cards have high point values. They might have kind of slipped by under the cracks. But that was a pretty well-publicized thing. There have been plenty of others.
I actually really like that top 8 list. I actually pulled it up because I liked it. Was it's a top 8, and there were 7 decks.
Yeah, you don't always see that.
It was Odeon, Art Mage, Generator, Megalith, Onamat, Punk, and Vanquish Soul. And it's
Just
like,
a healthy dose of.
You can't prepare for that.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some people really sort of saying like that they hope that a meta almost never really develops in Genesys.
It will
which
be
is impossible, really.
But it will be hard, right? A lot of iterations of games are going to have to get played before we know. And there's so many card options.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh being a game means that a meta will come eventually. But if Konami's like kind of good about what they're saying they're going to do and like they keep updating point values, it might be fine. Like they might just kind of keep tweaking to where it just always stays fresh. And there's never really a need to like sort of feel that the format's been solved. Like I think that'd be cool.
As you know, if they can avoid it becoming like
don't let it get stale.
A stale format. If they can even somehow keep it from becoming a triangle format, that'll be so impressive.
Yeah, it's interesting too. I've seen a few people's comments where they're like, I can't. This is almost a PSA. I'd almost say is like. I've seen people say, like, I can't play my Traptrix deck in Genesys, and that, like, really makes me mad. And it's like, yes, you can. Like, and when people say that, what they mean is, like, well, Traptrix Sarah can't be used because it's a link monster.
Kind of the card in the deck.
But the thing is, it's not, actually. Traptrix existed long before link monsters were even released. And I think people forget that, like, Rafflesia and, like, there are a few others, Pinguicula, I think, is, like, they have like 3 or 4 different Xyz monsters. Like Traptrix have boss monsters, but the deck building challenge in Genesys is that you are going to be playing your decks at a lower power level, but just because they're missing a couple link monsters does not mean that they are not a playable deck. So just keep that in mind.
I will say there is a unique challenge with embracing Genesys format that has hit me as I've been trying to kind of craft my lists. Playing down in power feels
it's super uncomfortable,
difficult.
Isn't it?
It's one thing because you and I, we've played so many sealed games of like structure deck this, random deck that, where when it's forced upon me, it's fine. But it feels weird to actively depower a deck for Genesys format.
Yeah, it feels weird because it's like that there's not a ban list telling you can't do that you have to run one copy. It's literally just it's a point decision.
It's this kind of arbitrary point decision. It's not completely arbitrary. It's a very concrete and thought out list. But it's like it feels like it's like, well, there's a format where I don't have to listen to any of these points. But there my deck is so irrelevant it's not even funny. But in order to have a relevant enough deck for Genesys format, I have to take out my links. I have to take out multiple powerful cards.
Sometimes like search. The weirdest part for me is when you have to like take out in-theme search spells or like run only maybe 2 of them or something.
It just feels
or like 1.
We've been optimizing in the advanced format for so long. 3 of things is standard. It's how it's always been. And
yeah, I know.
Like it's like we got used to the ban list being the one thing telling us we can't do something. And now we have the point system, and the point system's weird, right? The point system.
I'm gonna adjust your camera while you're talking. By the way, go ahead.
The point system in many cases doesn't tell you how many copies of a card you can run because it's a decision making thing. You can allocate your points more for one card and less for another. It's your choice, and that kind of upsets me that Konami has put it in my hands to choose which cards I limit in my own deck. I don't know. It's kind of upsetting.
I know. It is a very bizarre. I mean, I think like for a lot of players, they're just also having to wrestle with what it means to simply not be able to be fully prepared for the field. Like, I think that Yu-Gi-Oh has a certain amount of like comfort and like optimal deck building that people have gotten comfortable having at their fingertips, and now that a lot of that's gone, or at least it's compromised, it's culture shock for sure.
Consider me shocked.
One other thing I was going to point out too is that we were talking about this yesterday, and we realized there's now not much of a point in like the random common link monsters and sets anymore. Like, you know how like we were opening some Doom of Dimensions yesterday, and we just sort of noticed like, man, Link and Pendulums aren't usable in Genesys format. So when a new Link monster comes out in a set, like we're talking kind of those low rarity, just common,
those kind of like free agent,
super rare ones that they were never really great before, but like you might feel like, oh well, maybe they would have a place in Genesys format, but they don't. And so it's like if it's not the strongest Link monster that can like make a splash in the meta like a Baoaku, right? Mm-hmm. If it's not that, then like it kind of just doesn't have a spot. So
like, what are you doing here? You're not playing over here. That's what you're not doing.
Anyway, though, I guess that's Genesys. I'd like to still get people's updates on how they're feeling about it so far. Has your locals adopted it? That's a question I'd want.
I know our local scene out here has been a little shaky on it.
I was asking,
but we're shaky in general.
Yeah, I was asking Chris about this as well, and I was like, how like his locals is doing with it, and he was saying that people are still skeptical. Like, people are interested in it, but they're skeptical about Konami's long-term support of it. Mm-hmm. And I think that is a valid concern to have because Konami has sort of dropped support for formats in the past.
Multiple formats, many formats.
And so I think that what people are maybe looking for is, and it would perhaps be in Konami's best interest to kind of give some sort of a gesture of goodwill. Like, maybe some like Genesys specific OTS pack type of equivalent or promos just to sort of like show players, hey, we're in this for the long haul. They've done it on the high end. They've announced that there will be a YCS and they're doing it as like a public event already at YCSs. We're going to see the first Genesys thing like at Anaheim this weekend. It's just that still at the local level, what does that mean for like, Joe Regular at locals? So
this is once again another chance for Konami to introduce a Star Chip League system.
I really think so too.
This comes up almost every time there's like a new format of something. I'm like, why don't we have a league where they give out Star Chips for participation? I just think that would be so much fun.
I do. I really do. It's always crazy too because like you'll see that in the OCG they tend to have like sort of similar systems to that. Like they'll sort of introduce these like I think they have something equivalent to Star Chips that you get on your Neuron account, and you can trade them in for like exclusive sleeves and stuff. And
if I remember correctly, the Tokyo Dome Riot tournament in Japan, I think they were doing Star Chips at that tournament, though nobody was paying attention because of the riot.
the Tokyo Dome riots. Okay, so pivoting over to Master Duel real quick. Master Duel, as you know, was not in like an amazing spot as of last week.
We were literally complaining about it just the other day.
In terms of Steam player numbers, those have been down. There's kind of the chart's been making its rounds on the internet. And rightfully so, I think. I think Master Duel is kind of hitting a point where like the format, people weren't really happy with it. Then there's like the lack of game modes. The Duelist Cup happened. I played in it. It was miserable. Like just the format that the Duelist Cup works in is
it sounds like
bad.
You're not going to Worlds.
I'm not. Oh yeah, sorry. But you can. By winning at the next YCS.
Absolute. What am I, Triff? No.
But the problem is that like I think Master Duel it needs more in like two different ends. It needs more in like a game modes, just alternative ways to play sort of thing. And then also just needs like format balancing. Well, it sort of got one of those because we do have a new Master Duel ban list.
I mean, that was the one thing that you were definitely going to get. The other stuff you're talking about.
Yeah. They'll often happen like just a couple of days after Duelist Cups end. Mm-hmm. So that's at least nice. The Master Duel ban list, I will say before even getting into it, is like, I think that a lot was riding on this ban list, like just in terms of, recapturing player interest. And I don't think that it fully delivered, but it gave us some things. So I'll just go through the whole thing.
Okay.
Some cards went back to 3. Raigeki, Nightmare Throne, Sage with Eyes of Blue, Dark Beckoning Beast, Opening to the Spirit Gates, and Pearly Delicious Memory.
That's right. Yubel is not a problem.
Yeah, so all these sort of cards for decks that were hit in the consistency kind of Master Duel way at some point in the past. Nightmare Throne and Beckoning Beast and stuff puts Yubel close to being back at like full power outside of, I think, just Phantom of Yubel now. And Pearly Delicious Memory, same for Pearly. Sage nearly puts Blue Eyes back. I think they're still like Maiden it too. And Raigeki's at 3, which for better or worse,
it's Raigeki. It's a card.
Anyway, though, to get to some of the more like
Juicy.
Yeah, the juicy hits that are more relevant. To 1 is Malice Dormouse, Gold Sarcophagus, and Malice and Underground. 3 very direct hits to the Malice deck.
Are those all the cards that got put to 1? Just all Malice cards?
Yeah, well, I mean, Gold Sark is a free agent of sorts. And then number 41, Bagooska, the Terribly Tired Taper, is banned.
Dang, bruh. Not baggy.
Yeah. So,
it was only a matter of time.
Yeah, I've got a few thoughts on this list. I'll try to keep them short. I say that, it's not going to probably be short. But, so Malice, I think, has proven itself to be for all intents and purposes, strongest deck in Master Duel. You know, Ryzeal's not far behind it. And Malice is kind of miserable to face for most people. The thing about the hits that they took on this list is that while these are, by Master Duel standards, pretty surprising hits, like normally with Master Duel, you kind of expect stuff to go to like 2 and, you know, to be a little weird. They were a bit more direct, so I feel like they might have been feeling the heat from just how much people were complaining about Malice and stuff in the surveys. Still, though, none of these hits actually change the deck's ceiling, and that's always something that's like a point of contention with Master Duel.
Right.
Do you go after just consistency? Do you go after ceilings? Or even kind of the third category that I've coined, like safety, which is sort of a separate thing I'll get into. But like Malice Dormouse and Underground and Gold Sark means like that's a lot less starters for Malice, like significantly less. And so that's a big deal. I do think that will make win rates for the deck a lot lower. And like that's good. Like if you are tired of playing against Malice, seeing these hits will feel pretty nice, I think, at a glance. The problem, though, is that the deck can still do all the things it could do before. They haven't lost access to any extenders. They have not lost access to anything in their end board. A lot of people wanted to see cards like Apollosa maybe just finally get the axe, which it's one of those cards I think like Master Duel just might never really ban.
Apollosa is going like Maxi will just be a part of the branding of Master Duel.
I think so too, and I don't like that, but I think so too. And also, you know, people wanted things like Link Decoder and Splash Mage, which are pretty integral parts of extending their combos and kind of like giving them additional free Link material. They're both just turn one card into 2 type effects. People wanted those banned. The TCG has now banned both of them because Malice abuses them hard.
Over here.
Yeah, they are really obnoxious cards, and so with none of those cards hit, I think Malice just it will be weaker and like less common, and probably maybe just switch places with Ryzeal as like the dominant and second most dominant decks. But I really would have liked to see a full Malice name get banned or something. Like with Tearlaments, they completely banned Tearlaments Merly. They actually banned it. And I would have liked to maybe see like, even if it was just something like Chessy Cat.
I mean, we had to go through a few ban lists before they got around to banning Merly, right?
Yeah, it's slow. So it might be the case that like next ban list, they'll finish the job here and it'll be fine. But I just don't know that they have the time to be waiting that long when player numbers are looking the way they are.
They've got millions of players.
Do they?
And it decreases every month. But it decreases slowly. And that's what's, that's okay.
And then Bagooska getting an outright ban, I think, is a very good thing. It's unfortunate because it just feels like there's something about that set of like older Xyz monsters that just they all like Abyss Dweller and stuff like they all kind of just find their way on these ban lists.
It's because it became too easy to make them.
It's not just the ease. I think it's the floodgate factor.
Well, it is the floodgate factor, but like. Back in the day, it didn't feel as bad because on turns you were making Abyss Dweller and Bagooska. That was likely all you made on that turn. Back when these cards
I get what you're saying. Yeah, sorry.
But nowadays, you're making these and some more. You're putting up a board next to them and back row behind them. And now these cards that at their like... When they were young, these cards were just kind of okay.
They were interesting toolbox things.
But now it's like, oh, this is another piece for you that you have to like try and play through on my board. Good luck.
Yeah, it's really obnoxious because the way that the Ryziel deck, what it kind of ultimately turned into was at first you would think, okay, they'll make like Duo Drive and Detonator and like set Plasma Hole and some stuff and like have Cross, and that's kind of their standard inboard. But what would actually happen more often is they would make all that stuff and then just make Baguska, and it would force everything into defense, and like the opponent would take your turn and you couldn't play, and then the next turn they still got all the big Xyz and they just kill you off of that. So it still removed so much interactivity.
I remember when Baguska was young, I forget what deck I was running when I played him, and I was actively going to tournaments, and I only made Baguska when like I had a weak hand, and it's like, I don't really have like a strong.
Yeah, you have nothing else to do.
I make Baguska, and hopefully next turn I draw into something to like unbrick my hand. But that was all I could do. I couldn't do Baguska plus.
Yeah, and now they're taking that concept and really sort of supercharging it, because it's not like the Ryziel players have like these bad hands. It's that they're setting up, everything and then just ensuring that you won't get to play because they went first and now they got to just attack you.
The same was true for Dweller. I remember if your opponent got the read on you that you were a deck that needed your grave and they Dwellered you, it hurt really bad, but they typically made the Dweller and there wasn't much else next to it.
Right. It was more of like a hard call against like a graveyard strategy, but it got bad when you can make Dweller alongside everything else.
It's like, Dweller plus a quick effect pop and a face down.
And some negate and some hand trap.
Don't forget I have a hand trap.
Yeah, so, there were a few other cards that I think people wanted banned outside of just Apollosa. Like Artifact Mjolnir has now come onto the scene as
on God, I don't even know which one that is.
Yeah, they'll always find something.
Jesus Christ.
Like Scythe has had to get banned. Obviously, Lancia's, the hand trap or whatever. And I remember when Morale Attack was seen as like a problem.
We
moved so far from that.
How is this happening?
So what they do is like they will summon Mjolnir to your field. It's like this brilliant fusion thing with like Gem Knights and other pile-y cards. And they'll summon Mjolnir to your field and it will activate. And it has this effect where like when it's summoned, it can target another artifact in your grave and special summon it. And it's a mandatory effect. And so even if I'm summoning this to your field, you don't have any artifacts, it still activates. And in the turn it activates, you cannot special summon cards till the end of your next turn.
Jesus.
So it's just like, it's another special summon lock effectively.
Oh my God.
And
the ingenuity of the Yu-Gi-Oh player base is insane.
And I think that was one that really, that's a painless hit. The cards are rare. It's not even like, a high rarity thing. But I'll digress and just say that this ban list doesn't quite feel like it's enough given the current state of things. I think that if Master Duel was like doing fine, a little bit better, if public sentiment was not so negative, this might be a fine enough ban list. And I still, I'll see how it goes. Like it might feel like it brings things back into balance. I wanted to see Evil Swarm or Boros banned. That hand loops you, and Ryziel as well, but we'll see what happens.
Evil Swarm Ouroboros too?
Yeah, they summon it, they pull a card from your hand, they summon it back, they pull a card from your hand, and then they
What is up with old Yu-Gi-Oh
Yeah, it's these
cards?
old Xyz, and they use this one like heraldic thing that copies its name and effect, and then they pull a third card from your hand.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, it's rude.
I went to look because I was like, I feel like Artifacts is probably one of the most hit archetypes in the game, and I'm looking, and it's like, they've had so many cards on the ban list.
And it's the most unassuming archetype, too. Like, it's not particularly broken outside of, like, these individual cards kind of feeling a little too much times.
The archetype itself, dead. The members, though.
Yes, no one's playing a pure artifact deck. You're not.
And it's not necessarily because like you said before, I remember Morale Attack. Like Ignition and Morale Attack, that was just like an engine we would put in decks.
Yeah.
But now we're looking at the rares because even Lancia was not an important card in the deck back then.
It wasn't, but now it's a hand trap.
A staple in side decks. Scythe was unplayed for a long time.
Yeah, and they come up when it's like a deck that can just somehow like set the card from the deck or like summon it to the field. It's very rude.
Sanctum is at 3 now.
So that's the Master Duel ban list. One other thing I wanted to point out too is that Duel Links actually got a really big update this past week. I don't know a load about it, but I've heard great things. Apparently, there are just a lot of new character unlocks, and like they've finally added in the Noah Kaiba sort of like arc of like it's like a story mode thing, I guess. I don't play Duel Links, so I'm summarizing.
I was looking at the Duel Links meta page about it.
Okay.
And so they have like these alternate versions of DM characters added to the game. It was like Yami Yugi in his street clothes, Seto Kaiba in his street clothes. They had like Rebecca Hawkins and Serenity Wheeler.
Yeah.
I was browsing Reddit and I was interested to find out Serenity has voice lines for a monster that you would not expect.
Which one?
She has voice lines for Red Eye's Dark Dragoon.
That is very unexpected. I actually wouldn't have ever guessed. What?
I don't know why, but
I wonder what she says.
Oh man, I was looking on my tablet. If I did, I'd pull it up.
I saw Kaiba got a voice line where he says like something, because a few people have screenshotted it where he's like, "You see that surrender icon? You should touch it."
Yo.
Yeah, they always give Kaiba like the nastiest lines.
I feel like they're like, okay, we're just gonna cook now. We know exactly what we're doing.
But yeah, so shout out to Duel Links. I hate that I can't provide a more nuanced opinion on the update. I don't play it.
This is gonna make me re-download it.
But I've heard good stuff. They also
I found her voice lines.
Oh, okay.
She says voice lines of some cards that are just normal, like Saint Joan and
she uses Saint
with
Joan
the third eye. But then there's Dragoon, and I'm gonna see if I can find specifically the. Oh wait, is this the Japanese version? I want the English version.
Trying to see if there's any other Yu-Gi-Oh news while you're looking for that. Let's see. Oh, so I think Early Days Collection is on sale right now for 40% off, and
that's a great price for it.
Maybe. I bring that up because, it's 40% off during the autumn Steam sale. That offer ends on October 30th. If you're looking to pick up some Early Days Collection, you can. Thing is, though, so this happened a few weeks ago. I was on, like, part of SEMO's live stream, like, subathon, and we were playing with a few other people. We were playing, there was, like, Distant Coder, the J-Wits, and Pheromone, and we were playing, like, a 4-man tournament in Dungeon Dice Monsters, because Dungeon Dice Monsters recently got online support in Early Days Collection. Mm-hmm. We were very disappointed, though, to find the online play is completely broken and it's a mess, and they should be ashamed. We were not able to connect multiple times. There were connection issues. When we would get into games, they would randomly desync. This happened multiple times. At one point, when two people were playing a game, both screens just started like flickering. It's a very broken experience.
I'm so upset. That should have been the hallmark of the entire Early Days Collection.
Yeah, it was bad. I don't know what that's about. One other quick thing, too, is that the eFootball x Yu-Gi-Oh collab has happened.
Yep.
So starting September 27th, if you visit a participating OTS store, you can claim a free promo pack containing a Neymar Jr. token and a Rescue Rabbit eFootball version. So I'm sure you've already seen these, but it's got like Rescue Rabbit.
Oh, okay, I did see those. I did see them. At first, I was like, I don't remember this. Like,
and Neymar Jr. is sort of, I guess, supposed to be dressed as Dark Magician.
Yes.
So I thought these were neat. It's fun. I think they're also doing something in Master Duel for it, but I'm not entirely sure how that works. So, well, anywho,
I have it pulled up now.
Okay.
She actually has plenty of voice lines with many different cards, but we'll just start off with these Red Eyes ones since they all go in an order. Here we go.
Black Skull Dragon attacks! Joey and Yugi are both telling me to be brave. Red Eye's Dark Dragoon! Now I'll activate Red Eye's Dark Dragoon's effect. Red Eye's Dark Dragoon is now going to attack. I hope I do my proud.
Why does she say Dragoon like that?
Dragoon.
Like she says it like she's never said it before.
Oh, she has never said it before.
No, she's never seen it before. She was blind. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess like Duel Links is just kind of doing that. One other thing I heard about Duel Links too is that it's kind of big boy Yu-Gi-Oh now. Like they've added cards from like Duelist Advance in there.
Yeah, I mean,
like that Kaiba man.
Run out of old stuff, so
they
gotta go in now.
Yeah, they've caught right up. We're playing like modern Yu-Gi-Oh.
I mean, they've had links in the game for quite a while now. So
I wonder if like Art Mage is in there. That'd be interesting.
Art Mage? I'd
love to play it.
I heard about it.
Okay, well, that's all the Yu-Gi-Oh. So, I guess we'll move on to other card game stuff.
Yeah.
What do you have for us?
Trying to find the one I put in here. Here we go. So, MagicCon was this past weekend.
Yeah, it was.
That was over in Atlanta, I think.
Yeah,
MagicCon
ATL.
Atlanta. And they had some announcements.
Yeah.
Some announcements from beyond the universe.
Yeah, I've seen and heard plenty about this.
So they kind of showed off their 2026 at a glance list, and we there were some expected things. Lorwyn eclipsed their I think that's the very first set of 2026. It comes out in January. Pre-orders are live now. It's a standard Magic set. I think it's it's excluding all the universes beyond. It'll be the next proper Magic set after Edge of Eternities that released this year. Mm-hmm. After that is Secrets of Strixhaven. That's in April of 2026. So, wait, I skipped one because this one is only half announced. It's an unannounced Universes Beyond set for March.
Yeah, they say that this is the one that they're going to be revealing at New York Comic Con next weekend. So.
I guess they needed to save something. I don't know why, but they did.
I mean, I guess they're just like letting you know, like this is the slate of stuff for 2026, and the thing in this slot you just don't get to know about. But they have to leave some surprise for.
It's just weird that they chose for the one in March because they have the other things for the year.
Yeah, I don't know.
But next up was Secrets of
Strixhaven.
Strixhaven. That's in April, another like proper Magic set. And then in June we get Marvel Superheroes.
Okay. Marvel Superheroes is this the same thing that the Marvel thing before was?
No. So they've only done 2 Marvel things so far. They've done the Secret Lair drop that had some notable Marvel superheroes, and they've done the Spider-Man Universes Beyond set. This is Marvel superheroes. So think Spider-Man, and then add the rest of the Avengers and all their villains.
And they say it's going to be comic book versions of them.
So it'll be a huge set, and it'll just cover the entire Marvel universe as we know it.
Got it.
After that, we are going back to Middle Earth for The Hobbit in August 2026. That's what I'm really looking forward to. I really got into the Lord of the Rings set. And The Hobbit, if you don't know, is the book that starts the Lord of the Rings. Well, it kind of preludes the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. I'm not like a Lord of the Rings guy. So.
Oh, man. Because, see, you probably don't even remember watching the first Lord of the Rings movie, but it starts off where you meet a guy named Bilbo, and then the story kind of takes off as you meet his nephew or his I forget what Frodo's relation to Bilbo was now, but Bilbo was actually the main character of The Hobbit.
Okay.
As he was employed as a thief to join their company.
That kind of reminds me of how like Wicked is like a prelude to
to The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz, yeah. But like written really by a different person.
Completely different.
Okay.
Then there's Reality Fracture. That's in October. It's just another proper Magic set. So far we're at 3 proper ones, I believe. And then I think we're at 3 Universes Beyond. Next up is Star Trek in November.
Oh, Star Trek's an interesting.
Very Universes Beyond.
So 3 of the 7 products are actual Magic sets, and 4 of the 7 are Universes Beyond.
Yes.
Cool.
I mean, it goes lock and step with their very public kind of position on the direction of Magic the Gathering going forward. This is we're going all in on Universes Beyond.
Yeah.
People who have a problem with it, be damned.
Yeah, like tough luck deal. I mean, cool. Like so which of these universes beyond are you copping and which ones are you skipping?
So this year taught me that Magic the Gathering is an incredibly expensive hobby.
Yeah, it feels that way.
I bought it on Final Fantasy. I did not buy it on Spider-Man because I am not made of money. So
yeah, I heard people say that like Spider-Man didn't get as much interest from the core crowds.
If I had double the amount of money I'd have, I would have bought it too. But I don't. So I had to make a choice. And in this case, I'm going to make my choice early. So we're gonna make a live decision here. All right.
So what sounds most exciting? Unannounced Universes Beyond set, or Marvel superheroes,
So
or The Hobbit, or Star Trek?
It's a timing thing. All right, we're talking about January, March, April, June, August, October, and November.
Or really more like just, I mean, are we? Oh, we're considering all of the stuff.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm taking out everything that's not Universes Beyond. I'm not here for it. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Oh, you're not buying any of these Universes Beyond things?
Oh, that's not Universes Beyond.
Oh, you're not buying any of the non.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
So
Wizard's favorite customer.
Take out all that non-IP stuff.
Yeah. How dare we have some pure magic in here?
So that just leaves unannounced Universes Beyond, Marvel, The Hobbit, and Star Trek. So that's March, June, August, and then November.
One thing about the unannounced thing is I heard that it's like the rumor is that it's going to be like a Nickelodeon related thing. People are saying Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay, cool. Easy skip.
Okay.
So I'll skip the unannounced Universes Beyond set in March. You can hold me to that, guys. If it's something Nickelodeon related, I promise you I'm skipping it.
That means show a picture of Alec with a Nickelodeon pack. You're allowed to send hate mail.
You won't see it. It's not going to happen. So I'll go all in on Marvel superheroes. That's in June. Now, The Hobbit is in August, and I love The Hobbit. So, but I'm going to go slow on The Hobbit in August. I'm not going to go all in immediately. I'm going to buy my pack slowly because I'm skipping Star Trek. Why? Because I don't care.
Okay. So you're buying, I guess, 2 major Universes Beyond
and that's
sets.
all I can afford in a year. Okay. It really is. I can't. I got a lot of card games, Paul. I got to build Genesys decks and Yu-Gi-Oh. I gotta build new Digimon decks. I gotta buy Gundam cards. It's tough, man.
So I know that they're also doing a bunch of like Secret Layers ones as well, and I was trying to see if this had maybe like a list of just all of these Secret Layers, because I saw there were some very surprising announcements.
I did ignore the Secret Layer announcement because I'm at the point now where I just buy Secret Layers for other people. They're
good gifts.
I'm usually just at a computer when those Secret Layer drops happen, so I just log in, hop in line. And then I'll just ask people if they want something. If nobody wants anything, I'm leaving. I don't have a whole lot of interest in Secret Layers right now.
Well, here's what's coming up. And some of these are coming as soon as like October 13th. The next super drop includes a bunch of options whether you're a horror fan or a heavy metal head.
Well, you know I'm neither of those.
The set is headlined by the Secret Layer X Jaws, Terror of Amity Island. And there's also crossovers with Iron Maiden and Furby. And then The Office's Dwight Schrute gets its own drop, along with Trick or Treat and Dreaming Darkly Artist Spotlights. There's also a PlayStation one coming out. There's just so much. Like, does any of this like sound exciting to you? Like, you're not really getting any of these? Okay.
And that's not to be disrespectful of anyone who feels the opposite. Everything that Paul just announced is interesting to somebody. These are all like IPs that I understand someone liking. Mm-hmm. I just don't like any one of those things, even the PlayStation stuff, enough to like want to buy the Secret Layer for myself.
I was kind of curious what the PlayStation one was going to be, and it seems like it's basically just like Horizon and like the Last of Us characters.
It's
and some God of War.
The Last of Us, God of War.
Oh, never mind. There's like this Ghost of Tsushima character, Nathan Drake.
Basically, all their biggest like original
the current
titles.
big stuff. See, I thought that was going to be like Crash Bandicoot.
See, getting that bag now
like,
is different.
Or Ratchet and Clank or
something.
something.
Boy, if they would have hit us with some Right, Ratchet and Jack and Daxter.
Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper.
I go crazy.
I hate that they've forgotten about even Sackboy. Like, poor guy.
See, I would actually get a Sackboy Secret Lair.
I would get a Sack. Well, I don't know if I'd get it, but like, I would be.
I get the Sack.
I could be persuaded to get a Sackboy card. It's a bit of a shame that there are
Spyro.
Yeah, Spyro would have been
Spyro
really
would go
cool.
so
that would be pretty cool too.
Is he PlayStation? I think about.
He's not really, but like he's associated so closely with like Crash and like stuff. Like it just feels.
It was all in that same era.
It's interesting, I guess. Like with Hasbro's big push into these crossovers, it's weird when I look at the list of things coming out for Magic next year, and it's like. It almost feels like the core Magic sets feel like these like weird visitors.
It feels like this is not their game anymore.
It just doesn't. And like I know like we circle the drain on this every week, but like this is the first time where I'm just like sitting here looking at this list and it's like, man, I guess like it's almost like I guess one side makes the headlines and it's like the thing that you tell your friends, like, oh my god, they're doing like Star Trek X Magic. And the other thing almost feels like this like boring thing you have to like wait through to like get to what you want. And that I don't know how I feel about that. Like it kind of sucks, I guess, if you're
It is a little disturbing that there's a type of like Magic player who wishes that all sets were Universes Beyond sets so they could get rid of these like boring non-Fortnite-y like IPs. I don't know what a Jace or a Vraska. I don't know what any of this is. Give me SpongeBob. I want to play Smash Brothers, but with cards.
You know, I saw a Twitter post recently. It was from like Saffron Olive. I've mentioned this account once or twice before. It's like a Magic the Gathering content creator, I think, who just tweets stuff.
Oh, okay, I do remember. Okay.
Yeah, and so he was just observing. He kind of dug into Hasbro's finances, like their financial reports, and found that like Magic the Gathering makes up approximately 82% of their profits. And that's because a lot of their other products and IPs and stuff have really suffered in the last few years.
So wait. Magic the Gathering makes up 82% of the profits for Hasbro,
let me make sure that I
the
get
entire company.
Sorry, let me make sure that I get this completely right. He says, fell down a bit of a Hasbro financials rabbit hole and it blew my mind. I don't think people understand how much Hasbro depends on Magic and how different this is than in the past. In the second quarter of 2025, Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming, which is roughly 80% Magic, 10% D&D, and 8% Monopoly Go, and a couple of percent for licensing, made 94.5% of Hasbro's total profit. So in 2024, Wizards accounted for roughly 82% of Hasbro's total profits. That's interesting. So it's not... So Wizards is majority Magic the Gathering, and then I guess a little bit of D&D and stuff. Yeah, and so I think
Hasbro was such a big company.
It's a toy company, and so it's interesting to sort of see that Magic has become such a big part of Hasbro's operations. But he says that the reason is probably because of margins. Magic is insanely profitable, which makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's actually just cardboard, ink, and then just paying artists, which, like, in the big scheme of things, isn't very much for them. And so that basically means that, like, the amount of profit margin that you get from selling a pack of Magic the Gathering cards is huge compared to maybe, like, making, like, a toy where it actually takes, like, more, like, manufacturing and plastic and, like,
those sweatshops, they're not cheap.
Yeah, so
I mean they are, but they're not.
It's interesting. I think like what you take of the I'll try to link the thread as well in the comments so you guys can take a look at the full thing because he gets into a lot more detail than just what I'm describing here. However, I think it sort of speaks to why they are so thrilled to see Magic doing so well and why they're probably continuing to invest heavily into
changed their entire business model.
Yeah, just about. Like, I mean, it's why they need these constant kind of barrage of Universes Beyond things to keep happening, keep getting headlines, keep getting sold. The way they presented it at MagicCon looked almost like a freaking Marvel slate. Like, like when Marvel would release those little timelines of like, here's the next 2 years.
Yeah, they had to chill out on all that.
Yeah, so... Interesting. Cool Magic thing.
It's just crazy. That means because if I'm a Hasbro like executive, no matter what the price is for a license to bring it over into the Magic the Gathering brand for
it's just worth it.
You just pay it.
Just
do it.
Yeah, that's probably how they're thinking about it. I mean, I don't know the specifics, but I imagine that just like we can just get a license and sell. We keep coming back to this. Like, I mean, Final Fantasy was the best-selling Magic
Yu-Gi-Oh
product.
license one day.
They'll try. I mean, like, it's funny. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like talking to Shueisha, trying to, because anime kind of seems like the one thing that they've struggled to really get, like up to now. Like, they've gotten anime adjacent things, like I'd say Street Fighter kind of counts, or Avatar, or whatever.
Man, they got to fight with Bandai.
But like, they'd have to really like go to town with Shueisha and Bandai and all that stuff, and that'd be kind of hard. So, anyway, that's Magic. The next thing that I wanted to talk about actually was I saw the news today that Microsoft increased the price of Xbox Game Pass.
Boy, when I saw that headline, that put like fear in my soul.
And I guess more like kind of broadly speaking, so I have this Verge article, is the second one I think that's on our list if you want to click on it. It's everything about buying video games is getting more confusing and expensive. And they say that a recent Game Pass price hike is just the tip of the iceberg. So today, obviously, Microsoft announced that it's changing the Game Pass subscription service. They sort of renamed the tiers, changed what you get in each tier, but the Game Pass Ultimate tier is what's getting the headlines because it is now $29.99 per month, which is a 10%, or not 10%, $10 jump, a 50% jump. And they're adding more games and features to sort of justify the higher price. Like I know that they're finally taking that Xbox Cloud gaming beta. It's like it's finally leaving beta, and now like it's like a full thing that you can do where you can like stream Xbox games.
I did that on my my VR headset.
You can stream them at as high as like 1440p if your internet can support it. So that's kind of cool. And they're adding a few more games that will be like available on day one, and so they're trying to justify it, but like. Still, when your monthly subscription goes from like $20 to $30, like what's going on in your head, you know, like as a Game Pass Ultimate user like yourself?
Like I said, real fear hit my soul because I have been trying to figure out how to cancel my Game Pass for like months now. Mm-hmm. Mostly because I got it on a platform that I don't have ready access to, and it's hard to actually figure out how to get the thing canceled without just having my bank put a complete just stop on all payments to Microsoft. But now I really need to get that thing canceled because the $20 a month already didn't feel like it was worth it since, well, I'm not on that platform anymore. And 30? Absolutely not. I told you guys, I need to have money for the next Gundam set, next Digimon set. I don't have an extra $30.
I think it's just rough because this is also coming at a time when, you know, Microsoft just had its second price hike of all of the Xbox hardware this year. So, you know, an Xbox Series X now costs $150 more than it did at launch 5 years ago. And is that not just a little bit... It's bizarre in so many ways. Like
it's appreciating.
Yeah, that's right. It's appreciating on the shelf. It's, you know, we know it's tariffs, and that's not Microsoft's fault. I want to be clear that, like, at least in this case, I'm not blaming Microsoft. We know it was a tariffs thing, but it can't feel great when a product that is, like, technologically speaking, like 5 years old now, is being charged, like, you know, it's having a higher shelf price, and that's rough. And then you tell people like, okay, now Game Pass Ultimate is, you know, 30 instead of 20. Like, it's not a pretty look.
It's not like demand is getting higher.
It's not. Actually, one interesting thing is that Costco recently stopped stocking Xboxes entirely. They said that it was just a business decision that they made. They, I guess, maybe weren't selling well enough, and they were probably taking up too much space on the shelf. I don't know. Too much warehouse space.
Shame. You don't really hear that too much when it comes to game consoles. Like usually during like a game console's lifespan, they move at a decent enough clip where you don't have to hear articles about how we just took down all our PlayStations, we got rid of all of our GameCubes.
Yeah,
they usually just sell out and one day just hard to find, and that's that.
Yeah, you know, and it's not just a Microsoft thing too. Like, to be clear, Sony they raised the price of the PS6 earlier this year, and like
the PS6.
5. God, I'm thinking. I saw like a rumor about the PS6 thing is why I said that. Like somebody was saying like it's the leaked specs or something.
Yeah.
I don't
the crazy
know.
part to me is, so you said PS6 and I caught that, but what popped in my head was a PS4 that had gone Super Saiyan 3. And so imagine an all black PS4 with just long golden hair. And that was what was in my head when you said that, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, like Super Saiyan 6 is that like a thing? Okay,
I was like, I think of a Super Saiyan 6 PlayStation. The I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna create one so I can always have a Super Saiyan 6 PlayStation.
yeah. So I think there's like a new SKU of the PS5 that's like slim or whatever that's got.
Oh
released.
yeah, the Slim that I heard has all around worse build quality.
Well, they say it's like got a matte finish now instead of a glossy finish, and maybe there's like some other little difference. I don't really know, but yeah. So like I mean, the PS5's had price hikes. Nintendo in general it's increased like the prices of some Switch 2 accessories and $80 games.
Yo, it's tough out here being a gamer.
I think it all amounts to this idea that gaming is really back to being quite the luxury hobby. It's had times in the past where it's really felt that way. Like I know they say in like the 80s and 90s in particular, gaming was actually quite expensive to do, like kind of cost prohibitive. I think that maybe the like 2000s sort of spoiled us, is the word, I guess. Like it kind of made you think that like gaming was for the everyman.
I had a Christmas where I got a PS1 and a PS2 in the same Christmas.
But now, I mean, here we are like with last week's story where it's like God of War PlayStation controller with a red strip on it that's $85. Or, what was the other thing that we talked about? Like, if you get trophies, you can buy
a shirt.
You can buy a shirt or
buy a pin for playing the game you already bought.
Yeah, it's intense. I don't love it. It seems like gaming is like it's hard. Like I don't envy the person trying to play all of these things.
It's a pain, man. I gotta buy the new Digimon game this week. I gotta buy the new Pokemon game next week. Still haven't bought the last Borderlands yet, and it's just And then even if I get all these games, when am I gonna play them?
I think you have to be very deliberate. It feels with your.
I'm gonna stop doing the pod so I can play my video games.
Oh, you're gonna piss these people off.
No. This is how we're gonna do it. So I'm gonna show up to the pod, but instead of podding, I'm gonna set up like the TV right here, and I'm just gonna be playing. You can talk, and I'll just be
playing. It's like Alec will weigh in every few minutes.
Whenever I'm cognizant you're saying something, I'll speak.
Yeah, I'll have my Steam Deck, and I'll catch up on my gaming time. It is fine. It's like tough to find gaming time, but I think that maybe that works a little bit well because it's like, well, if you're gonna be like paying $80 for games, that means you'll only maybe buy a couple each year, and so like plenty of time to find to play the 2 or 3 games you bought.
Man, it feels like the more time you have, the less time you have.
Yeah,
that made no sense, but for some reason, my soul felt that.
Well, no, I mean, I get what you mean from the perspective of like a almost paralysis, like decision paralysis sort of thing. Like sometimes it feels like if you have a lot of time or like you have like a free day, it's like, what should I be doing to fill this day and like kind of make the most of it? And in wondering that, you can actually like lose time. For
me, it feels like the more time you have, the moment you get more time, something just shows up to fill it.
Yeah, that happens.
So it's like, damn, I had 2 days. Why didn't I play any video games? Because life saw that you had more time and then filled it immediately.
Yeah, something that like I do feel this almost extends a little bit beyond games is also some of the confusion that seems to accompany these price hikes of things, where like when they redid the Game Pass stuff today, Game Pass Ultimate got some new features and like things, but then it also went up in price. But then also they like renamed the first 2 tiers from like Game Pass. Let me see if they mention it here. It's like, yeah, there have been some name changes. What used to be the core tier is now called the essential tier. And what used to be the standard tier is now called the premium tier.
Okay, wait. That's some bullshit. Going from changing the name of standard to premium is actual marketing bullshit.
Yeah, it feels weird because it's like you're kind of getting this mixture of like it's just bait and switch, kind of gaslighting. Like, so something's called premium, but then there's also like an ultimate, and then there's like core is now like essential. It's like what are they trying to say?
Just blowing smoke up your ass. Like, Paul, what kind of gas do you put in your car?
Whatever the cheap one is, regular, unleaded.
So like, what if they just took the sticker off regular and just put premium on there?
I know, that's exactly what it is.
And they increase the price.
Yeah, but also like they add, and that's the thing that they like to do with these is like they'll sort of, a price will get like 50% higher, but they'll add like 20% worth more stuff to kind of like make you think like, well, you're getting a little bit more, but you're paying a lot more, but you're getting more. And so like you should feel, it's very
bullshit. I haven't put more than $15 of gas in my car at a time in like 2 months.
Where did that come from? I just turned into Alex.
We're talking about money things.
General broke,
and things are getting more expensive. And it's like, I haven't filled my tank all the way up in months.
No, I know exactly.
And yet we're increasing the prices of Xboxes and everything. And then Game Pass is increasing in price.
What's okay? I'll buy you the God of War.
You'll buy me a full
I'll buy you the
tank of
God
gas?
of War controller.
I don't want that. I just want the gas.
You don't want the red stripe?
I could care less.
The red stripe means everything, man. That's going to get you places. That'll get you.
You buy it for me and I sell it so I can buy some gas.
Yeah, that's what you do. On StockX.
Yeah, exactly.
At a markup because I scalped the controller and then remember there are only 100 made.
Oh, that's true. I'm going to sell it for $2,000.
And scalp them. Yes.
$2,000. That's like 3 tanks of gas, right?
It's like a few.
That's pretty close.
I saw that one meme the other day where it was like, once your $1,000 turns into 873, it's basically spent.
It probably be like that.
Anyway, yeah, that's the world of gaming is a rough time. But I'll tell you something that's actually wait, no, I think you have another gaming story before I move on.
Do I? Let's see.
I saw you had a Street Fighter thing.
I did. Where is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I forgot to even put this on here.
I mean, I think in the spirit of talking about everything being expensive.
Yes. So Capcom went ahead and placed the finals of the Capcom Cup behind a paywall.
Okay.
So every year, Capcom hosts the Capcom Cup for the current iteration of Street Fighter. It takes the world's best players from the surrounding Capcom Pro Tour and places them into a tournament bracket. The winner usually walks away with a substantial cash prize. Up until now, all of these Capcom Cup finals have been free to watch, streamed live on Switch on sites like YouTube and Twitch. Indeed, esports events in general are paid for by sponsorships and advertising deals, with the resulting shows being littered with ads in between matches and constant product placements.
I know, I hate that shit.
However, the upcoming Capcom Cup 12, which takes place in March next year, will be a pay-per-view event. In other words, you'll need to buy a ticket to watch the finals live. The virtual ticket prices can go as high as 6,000 yen, roughly $40, for the full package.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like I've been saying this a lot in the pod about many different things. It feels like people and companies are going backwards.
Yeah. In many ways, I think I know what you're probably getting at here.
Pay-per-view, like even if I have specific arguments about Capcom Cup and fighting game tournaments, but the pay-per-view system is long antiquated. Like nobody does that anymore. And we're gonna in 2025, or you say it's 2026, go reinstitute pay-per-view like that's something anybody wants to do.
This is a really quick tangent. As a kid, I thought it was like pay-per-view.
Me too.
Yeah, like it's like the paper in your notebook or whatever.
Pay-per-view.
I was like paper. I was like, what? I was always wondering, like, what did they mean? Like, are you like watching
I thought
it
it was like
paper,
the dollars made out of paper.
I think in my mind I rationalized it was like your ticket. Like you bought like a ticket and like it made a paper.
It's a pay-per-view.
Sorry. Anyway, back to what you were saying.
Yeah, like it's just like we're supposed to be moving forward. That's how progress works. Progress goes forward. That's a regress. That's regression going to a pay-per-view model. Now, I understand that these events have to make money, but you're taking something that has largely been free for gamers for years. And gamers are famously price adverse, like pretty much across the board.
No, let's keep it a buck. Gamers are poor. Like most of us, we're watching these tournaments because like it's free entertainment. Because like you wouldn't actually pay, you know, the gajillion a month for ESPN or anything like that. People don't have
the whole
money.
reason streaming is big is because it's free to watch a stream. It doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah,
but
this makes it very. So we've already kind of spent a lot of time talking about just the general squeeze on everybody's wallets right now. I mean, I saw like Disney Plus up, like the Disney Hulu package. I got an email last week that they like upped their prices. So like I canceled that.
We canceled
right?
that over the whole like
the Jimmy Kimmel thing.
Thing.
But like I got this. I was like, oh well, I don't even need another reason to cancel. Here's the thing with this though. I understand why they're doing this. Right? It's esports, I know, is in a weird position where it's very grassroots in the fighting game space. I know Smash suffers from this to varying degrees, so do things like Street Fighter and all that, where they're not super profitable. And esports has kind of suffered from the whole venture capitalism problem, where a lot of people invested a lot of money into it, thinking it was going to blow up and be the next big thing. And they're finding now that esports aren't as profitable as they thought. And so that's why you're seeing teams broken up, players not losing sponsorships, events not being able to be held in these like huge stadiums and nice venues and stuff. The thing is, like, and I want to make it clear here. I just think like I think this system of like buying, you know, a $40 ticket or whatever to watch is not going to go well, and I don't like it. I'm just trying to present a slight devil's advocate thing, which is, I know sometimes when I'm watching Smash Bros. Tournaments, the advertising experience is so intrusive that I would almost contemplate paying a little bit to bypass it. I don't think that I would want to do like a pay-per-view of the finals. Like I don't think I could be convinced to really do that, especially like assuming that the VODs won't be on YouTube later and stuff. But like, the amount of interruptions throughout the day where like I'll be watching a Smash Bros stream and like a normal Smash Ultimate set lasts between like 15 to 20 minutes.
Right.
Like a best of 5. And you'll watch that set and then you'll have like 5 whole minutes of ads and you'll get another 15-minute set and then 5 whole minutes of ads. And it can really be like, it's just very intrusive, especially like before like grand finals or like kind of the top 8s play out. There will just be like 10 or 20 whole minutes of ads. And so I think that if what they're offering here is that you are paying $40 and you will get to like watch the whole final day thing without any advertising, I see where maybe they're trying to present that as like a value proposition. I just don't think it's going to work because I still don't think people in their mind associate getting to watch the esports tournament that they've always gotten to watch for free with being asked to pay $40.
Yeah, I think if ads are the sticking point, why not let it be free with ads for some people, and then for the people who don't want ads, they can just pay their extra money.
That's what I was wondering about too. But I guess the problem with that is like, what would get injected in the space in between?
Commentary.
Because it's like a live event. That's interesting. So you think, because I agree with that. Like basically, if you are paying for this pay-per-view thing, you will get no ads, and the time that ads would be shown to the plebs, you are getting, I guess, additional commentary from the commentators.
Yep. Okay. That's all you can really do. I mean, like, I have no problem with Capcom trying to turn these events more profitable. What I do have, I have a problem with them not doing it in a forward-facing manner. There had to have been a better way to try to drive profits out of the Capcom Cup events than just sticking a $40 paywall in front of it. That it's abrasive, it's prohibitive, it's regressive.
I wonder, I guess this also kills co-streams. Like, you know, a lot of people like kind of co-stream and like just react.
That's a wrap.
So they're going to take that down for sure.
Like it's a cultural hit, not just a financial hit. It's a cultural hit to the FGC. And one, I really hope like other like large tournament organizers, they don't follow suit on that, because if they thought esports were suffering before,
Yeah, I feel like people just wouldn't watch, or they'll pirate. Something else too is just like, I know that the problem that esports ran into as well is that it's hard to really market merch through esports, because like esports were supposed to be like sports. You buy the things that your favorite athletes stand behind. Like, your favorite athlete's on a commercial for shaving cream, you'll buy the shaving cream. They're in the commercial for a new car, you'll buy the car. But esports and the audience that consumes it is not like that. They have very different relationships with their favorite players and very different buying habits around, I think, what, like, even if your favorite player is shilling for a new brand of shampoo, like, it doesn't mean anything to you. So I think they found that it's hard to really convert merch sales. I know that a lot of esports teams are also sponsored by like kind of PC, like gaming PC and peripheral companies. But even then, it's like, well, how many people like listening to this podcast, you can let us know, are like willing to just are able to like drop $2,000 on a gaming PC tomorrow?
You have to market to people with imagery that they're familiar with, and then sell them something they actually might buy. And
it sounds so simple, and it's anything but. Like with the crowd of people that watch esports, it's just, what can you sell them? And like, it's a hard.
They're aimed incorrectly. Like you want to sell things at esports. Sell them some Mountain Dew, some gamer subs, some pizza.
Well, so they've tried that, and I guess like some of those companies maybe have seen success, but apparently it's just not enough.
I mean, you gotta sell gamers things gamers actually consume and eat on a regular basis, where it's not an extra expense.
Yeah, I wonder. So for you personally, what
I don't watch streams.
No. But like, what do you think would maybe, like, is there something that I guess you consume when gaming that like you could maybe be convinced to buy? Like, I don't. Well, I'm struggling to find.
I would already be buying it. One, if I eat it if I consume it while I'm gaming.
Yeah. Do you think there's anything that you could be convinced to buy outside of what you normally buy?
I play a lot of Final Fantasy, so I don't watch esports. So I can't really just name one. But if you like do a Final Fantasy collaboration with like Mountain Dew. Oh wait, they did that.
Yeah, we did. I remember.
You know how much Mountain Dew I bought?
Yeah, we bought more Mountain Dew. A stupid
amount of Mountain Dew.
It's kind of interesting. I guess maybe that's where the solution actually lies, is like the in-game rewards thing. Because that they've been
Call
doing that.
Call of Duty was big with that back in the day. I don't know if they still do
those like double XP weekends with the Mountain Dew caps. What I was gonna say too is actually the like when they do the things where you have to watch a certain amount of like a Marvel Rivals like stream sponsored thing. You get the Twitch drops. Maybe there's something into that. Now, I still don't, but then I guess like the Twitch drops are supposed to be like a free thing you get for watching, and they still need to monetize your view, so that doesn't help them.
They need you to make a purchasing decision.
Yeah.
And I think they fail to meet people where they're at. I think they overestimate the strength of their brands. Yes, you pumped a lot of money into this tournament. The tournament looks awesome. The stream is stable. It looks great. People are actually not that invested in your esports players as you think they are.
Yeah, they're not. I wonder, I'm sorry, I'm so like on this whole thing of like how you could make the stream itself. Something I thought about, and I feel like I could genuinely maybe be convinced of this, is like if the ordering experience, because you said pizza. Yeah. It's funny you said that, because I think like I know Papa John's has a lot of ads on Twitch. I've seen them for like, and they sponsored a lot of tournaments. I think if they can make the experience so seamless that like I'm able to order my pizza from within the stream somehow. There's some like plug-in like widget Twitch type plug-in of thing. Like
get you a Twitch pie.
And as and as long as I order it like from that stream, it kind of gets me a discount on the pizza. It's like 20% off or something, and it's like a referral thing, so they know that I came from watching the stream. I think I would be more likely to buy like a pizza then. I think
I could see that. Now, that makes sense. Pizza ads are like, a dime a dozen when it comes like watching football. Like as far as like sports that I watch football, I watch basketball, I watch more traditional stuff. But like it's hard for me to imagine to sit down and watching a football game without some food. And like there's if I don't have food and they play a Domino's ad during the game, I'm gonna go order me some Domino's. That's just how it's gonna. That's how it will go.
I think the more you can reduce the friction of ordering, like make it where like I'm serious. We're talking like within that stream, you just press the order now button and it just pull my information and it's already like getting delivered to me.
I don't know if people want to put their full information in the Twitch like that.
So you say that, but it already probably has it.
Oh, that's true.
I guess probably already got your.
That's a good point.
I don't know.
Internet.
I guess I'm trying to like give them this. I understand that like esports has it rough. There's not a lot of money in esports, and a lot of times players end up having to quit and stuff because they can't like find sponsors because it costs a lot to travel across the country every weekend and like play in these things.
Question if. And this might be disrespectful.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
I do wonder if gaming is even meant
to be played this way and presented this way,
professional like,
thing. Yeah,
occupation.
I know. People have that same thought
because like
maybe we need
it's a side hobby, you know, like.
Well, my middle ground with that has been maybe we need to actually drop kind of the budget and spectacle of it.
Yeah, go ahead and like cut like some of those millions off the top and just use that somewhere else.
Well, yeah, because like I was just gonna say like maybe we don't need to have like convention centers booked and stuff. Maybe these regionals need to go back to like just being at. I'm speaking kind of more from a Smash Bros angle, but I'm sure other FGC things are similar. Of more like house tournaments and like kind of college campus events where like it's like free as opposed to trying to more grassroots as opposed to trying to rent out the convention center and like have all these fancy lights and these fancy streams and like having to pay a lot of production. Maybe it just needs to be more low to the ground
because like it makes sense. I mean you're dealing with an audience that has a limited budget. Like professional sports, they go out to a much larger audience that makes substantially more money than your average gamer does.
Yeah, with sports, you're getting more of the working families that
you're getting
kind of
your people in the lower class, mid class, high class. They're all watching these games
and betting on FanDuel.
Betting on DraftKings. You know, they're all. But let's not shout them out. They're not sponsoring us. I heard they pay people real money. Don't. Ignore what we just said, guys. They're not paying us, so forget we even said their names.
I don't know. I feel for the dilemma that a lot of these games find themselves in because I think here's what really happened. I think that they got a taste when that esports bubble kind of was rising, kind of that 2015, like mid 2010s, and it's tough to let it go.
And I think during COVID. There was a bit of a little bump in it again. Where like, maybe we can make it work. We can make it work.
A lot more viewership numbers, and I think that's probably where some decisions like this got greenlit. Was like COVID, people aren't at work, they're working remotely more, and like so viewership numbers on Twitch and YouTube and stuff are higher. And now like people are like back at work, and so
it's like we busy and we poor.
Yeah. Well, anyway, our last story is about this new AI actress. Have you heard of her?
I almost threw my tablet just now.
Yeah, have you heard of Tilly Norwood?
I wish I hadn't.
Well, Tilly Norwood is the new AI actress.
Oxymoron.
Yeah, actress with air quotes, who has become a contentious subject in Hollywood after her creator, Eline van der Velden, recently claimed that multiple talent agents were interested in signing the AI creation. And SAG-AFTRA is not happy. The Acting Guild believes that creativity is and should remain human-centered and is opposed to the replacement of human performers by synthetics. To be clear, Tilly Norwood is not an actor. It's a character generated by a computer program that was trained on the work of countless professional performers without permission or compensation, they wrote in a statement. It has no life experience to draw from, no emotion, and from what we've seen, audiences aren't interested in watching computer-generated content untethered from the human experience. It doesn't solve any problem. It creates the problem of using stolen performances to put actors out of work, jeopardizing performer livelihoods and devaluing human artistry. I've got a question for you real quick.
What's up?
What the hell even is an AI actress?
It's an oxymoron. It doesn't exist.
Like, I'm actually, because I've been seeing this story pop up this whole time, and what I'm mostly confused about is like, okay, so say like you're an actor. Alec is an actor, and you're, signing for this upcoming movie, and I'm signing for it too, and some other people are as well. And then they also just sign this AI actress. How are we going to act against this character? Like, is it just like literally? And I'm being serious here. Like, is she generated on screen in post production?
Yes.
So like, we wouldn't even have like a thing to act off of.
Basically,
like a person. Like, it just.
Or use green screen.
Sorry, I said she. My fucking mistake. It. Because I mean, it is a fucking AI. It's not real. But I'm just so sorry. Your take,
guys. I'm not gonna go into my whole thing about like creativity, art, AI. Y'all know how I feel on that. But AI cannot be an actor because the very phrase "actor" implies a person who pretends to be another person, but the operative word being person. And AI cannot be a person, and thus cannot be a person pretending to be any other person. The best an AI can do is pretend to be a person to begin with. What they have is a synthetic being. They do not have an AI actor.
I'm so confused. Like, what do they mean signing? Like, these Hollywood entities trying to sign
with the creator, and then the creator would license out the likeness and the use of their AI program.
Multiple talent agents were interested in signing the AI creation.
But technically, that's a very easy thing to say because I can just declare I'm a talent agent and then say I want to sign your AI. Like, were these from real talent agencies? Was it part of like the big three of talent agencies? I doubt it.
Yeah, I guess I just don't really understand. Like, well, here's what she has to say.
Who's she?
She is this is Aline von der Velden, who created this AI actress.
Abomination.
I see AI not as a replacement for people, but as a new tool, a new paintbrush, she added. Just as animation, puppetry, or CGI open fresh possibilities without taking away from live acting, AI offers another way to imagine and build stories. I'm an actor myself, and nothing, certainly not an AI character, can take away the craft or joy of human performance.
Then why did you try?
I guess I just don't understand, like, how she can come to this conclusion when, I mean, it quite literally is, like, any movie that hires, what is the thing's name? Tilly Norwood. Any movie that casts Tilly Norwood is choosing then to not cast
a person. Yeah, basically.
Like, so it just, that's simply the truth. Like, and this is, listen, this is me that we're talking about. You know how I really do try to give a charitable interpretation to these things that I oftentimes vehemently disagree with. I just don't see how she can say that. Like, how she in good faith can say those words.
If there was a specific scenario where a quote-unquote AI actress is the perfect solution to the problem, then I give it that. But there does not exist a situation on this planet where you need an AI actor. It just doesn't.
Yeah, I can't really think of a scenario. It's very.
You can always just have a person perform whatever like sequence or scene. The only things that you probably couldn't get a person for are illegal type films that we won't get into on this platform.
Which, it really is interesting too that, like, I guess it's this AI actress is like, I guess just like this young girl. Like, something about that maybe reads a little bit troubling to me, but I guess I won't get into it.
If I were trying to design a
like, it's just this young woman, like
an actor that's going to make a lot of money and be very hireable, then you make them in their prime. I don't know if they specifically chose a female presenting image for a reason. I mean, but you try to create what you think Hollywood or
wants right now,
directors would want.
I guess it's just this sort of
young
woman.
The benefit of a quote unquote AI actress over a real one is that she never leaves her prime, I guess. The issue I keep running into though is, what would you even need it for?
I think I'd also be very upset if I watched a movie and kind of like just found out that the actor or actress was AI generated, particularly when like everyone else in the movie isn't. Like if it's a whole AI movie, it's like, okay, I just know to avoid this, right? Like if someone tells me, watch this AI generated movie, fuck that, not happening. But if like I watched a movie and just like one character in it, would that not just, is it not the case that would just break immersion so distinctly?
I mean, remember the situation with the CGI on Superman's face?
Yeah,
we couldn't even get past that. How the hell are you going to get an AI
like that
actor?
Was so like uncanny back then. That was like what, Man of Steel or whatever.
I think so.
Like that was like pretty rough. But just the AI, like, oh god, I think I'd be like really upset about that.
We saw the last Superman movie, right? Mm-hmm. What if in that movie the Lois Lane actress was actually Tilly Norwood?
Yeah, I don't.
That would be unacceptable.
I just don't think it's very good.
I'd walk out the theater.
Me too. I guess I wouldn't even come to the theater because at this point now I'd be like, okay, if I see Tilly Norwood, I'd be like, okay, who is that?
I'm operating under the idea we didn't know about it.
Oh, okay, like you found out.
They didn't advertise it, so we're watching and it's like, yo, something's wrong here.
I don't like this.
She's not answering any of his questions and she just went on to a 15-minute diatribe about Nazism and the state of American politics.
Hallucinated or something.
It's and then that's another thing. Speaking of like the way AI hallucinates, how would you even work with an AI actor? You can't give them notes. They just
I wonder what does it mean for the other actors, like the actual real human actors. It's like, would you be how does she show up on set? Like what shows up on set? Because you have to have something to act against. Like typically, even if it's like a CG creature, they will have like some little like prop stand in for the actors to at least be able to like make eye contact.
A broomstick with two balloons.
So it's like, is that just? Yeah, I don't know. I worry for what does that mean in production and also in post production? Like I guess, are you just like generating like kind of a guess at how she should act in this scene and you're like, oh, I guess that's not right, and like you just generate another guess and like you're just with each generation that's a whole like bottle of water being taken away from like a village, because that's what happens in those AI data centers.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, it's like every time you just try to get the scene right, you're starving people across the planet.
Yeah, I just
this is a big, I mean, this was an obvious nah from me, but like what's the name of the creator? Lady, you got your work cut out for you to convince anybody this is a good idea. I mean, I'm sure she'll find somebody who's willing to like hire her little like AI actress, but that's not going anywhere. It's not beneficial to the industry. It won't elevate the craft. It's nonsense, and I think we could all agree we wish you hadn't did it.
Yeah, I don't think there's much I can say, and this is coming from me. Like, I mean, I've tried to like find like applications for these things. I don't love it.
AI has no place in creative works. Art does not need AI.
So anyway, here's just a little quick update on Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle.
Good old Kimetsu.
Recently passed over 600 million worldwide in the box office, and it actually topped Superman. It's also the first non-English, first non-English, non-Chinese film to pass $600 million ever, apparently. So I think that's really cool. I just thought that was like kind of a nice statistic to see.
Boy, anime's on top, y'all. You know, this whole like, I know we were escaping the whole like anime watchers, like a basement dweller, the image of us from like the 2000s, but oh, we on top now. We mainstream.
I mean, it's feeling a little bit more that way. Like, to pass Superman and like Fantastic Four First Steps and all that, like, pretty big deal. It's the currently number 7, although I think it might, as of the time of this, might now be like the number 6 most, like, I guess, purchased movie this year. So, kind of cool. Shout out to Demon Slayer. We've already talked about our thoughts on it, so we won't really go too much more into that. But any like new ideas or kind of things coming to mind?
I was just thinking, you know, movie theaters have really been struggling post-COVID. People got used to not going, and it's like pulling teeth to get them to go back. And I think a large part of it is we came from a time where we're used to having to always go to the movie theater to watch our movies. To some degree, that's not special anymore. That magic is lost with people once they were able to start watching things at home. They're like, oh, this is way more convenient. But it's different with anime. Anime movies are few and far in between. The vast majority of people have never seen an anime on a big screen before. And then now there's novelty to it. Now there's magic to it. There's a huge community of anime watchers where they're like, I wouldn't go to the movies to see Superman. I wouldn't go to the movies to see Fantastic Four. But Demon Slayer on like an IMAX screen?
People come out of the woodwork. I mean, I think we may have talked about it, but when we went to see that movie, people were like lined up outside the theater. Like it pulls the little weeb nerd neats out of our
people who don't go outside,
out of our basements and into the sunlight.
And we're not saying all weebs don't go outside. We go outside. I have been before a couple times
in the last month. No, but it does pull out a certain crowd. This is sort of unrelated, by the way, but I've always wondered why like movie theaters don't just let people like watch sports games on the screens. Like, I know there might be some like technical thing or with that, or maybe it's like a licensing. But I always thought, like, you know, like sports bars exist.
Yeah.
And so I always just thought, like, why not just like, it's like, because like the big problem that theaters are having is like getting people on weekdays. Like AMC, they've been trying to like slash ticket prices and offer all these like sales and stuff so that you can, to get you to go on like a Wednesday. And it's like, well, what if like just the basketball game was just on? You could watch it in fucking IMAX.
Would be cool.
Do you know why that is? Like, I don't know.
The sports broadcasting industry, all that is so mired in old like money and deals.
Oh, maybe they just don't
networks.
They don't. Yeah, okay.
They have exclusivity contracts that are ironclad. There's no breaking out of it. You do not leave the norm.
Okay, yeah, fair.
Like, I mean, the craziest thing we've had in like sports broadcasting is like the shakeups of like how the WWE's been moving around to different platforms.
Yeah,
like. That's kind of the most, like, they might end up on a movie theater screen. I could see that. Actually, I want to say that's happened with like some of their pay-per-views.
I remember, this is like kind of vaguely related. I remember that once for like, I think the very biggest Sony's E3 press conference in like 2013, they did it where you could go see it at some select theaters. That was the one where they announced the PS4.
Does sound I think I do remember that.
I thought that was kind of cool. And like, it just made me think maybe like movie theaters need to be just utilized for more than just movies. Like, what if like you and I, like, we could like rent out a movie theater, and obviously there'd be some stipulations. Like, we have to kind of guarantee a certain amount of
$20 or.
Well, like, so let's say you and I can like rent out a theater, and we have to, I guess, guarantee a minimum amount of people that would show up, or we'll cover the difference. Kind of like how like food trucks and stuff work, you know?
Oh, also like how it works for like small bands.
Yeah.
Concert venues.
Yeah, like a concert venue. And then we can just kind of like stream whatever, assuming it's not like porn or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we can stream just a movie of choice. Yeah. A movie of our choice, or like something else. Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of ways to like help movie theaters stay in business, because I like going to the movies. Like, I don't want movie theaters to die. I think we've already lost enough like sort of third places. So these could be things they could explore, right? Like,
easier said than done. I think like with esports, you know, what you got to do is go ahead and slice off the top of that budget. Go ahead and close I think if you close half the movie theaters in the United States right now, I think we'll be in a good spot. I think we have too easy access to movie theaters. We don't want it as bad anymore. Let's make it so that you gotta drive an hour to get to the movie theater. Let's make it hard again. And I think with fewer movie theaters, the desire to want to actually go to one increases ever so slightly over time.
He's being facetious, y'all.
I'm not. I mean it.
I hate when you do this because it's like I'm gonna have to read these comments where people are like, "Wow, like Alec is he just wants to destroy the movie."
Okay, theaters. No, they can't do that in the comments. They're not even going to the theaters to watch movies. They can't.
You know that's true. They can't.
They can't do that.
No, but in all seriousness, I will say I think that movie theaters need to do something to like get people back, but I don't think that it's even within their power. I think a lot of it's the economy. I think it's just like,
and it's been the economy.
It's been the economy for a while. Like times are tight. I just had some neat thoughts. Okay,
my idea is pretty neat too.
Yeah, Alex, let's just close them all and make it harder to go. Okay,
you gotta Thanos snap this. The last time many of you went to the theater.
So we've got some viewer questions. Let me pull these up. What you got for me? Thank you all for submitting these. We really appreciate that you do.
We do.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to actually do this on my phone because it's being really weird about like showing this on this app, and I don't like that. It upsets me a lot. Okay. So the first one's a Yu-Gi-Oh question. The second one's kind of just a more general one.
Okay.
I have an idea for a pod topic. If you get paired against your friend at a major event and you have to call the judge on them, describe how you would handle that situation. This is from Drytron Max.
Just a
friend? Well, I guess like a close friend. Like if you and I were paired against each other at a regional and like you thought I was slow playing, or, you know, and it could be anybody, like any close friend, Alex even, right? Mm-hmm. Would you call the judge, like, how do you, or even let's make it easier. They call the judge on you. Like, would you feel?
Well, that's a completely different.
Yeah, I know because I could tell which way you'd probably answer that. But yeah, so like, what's that scenario look like for each of us? Is what they're
which
asking.
Part? Which? We'll
do both.
Okay.
So would you call the judge like on your friend, and would that maybe concern you about the optics, the feelings?
So there is a difference. So there's a friend and then there's Alex. Because how I deal with a friend is different from how I deal with Alex.
Okay, like a friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if a friend is slow playing me, or at least someone I perceive is slow playing me in tournament, what game am I playing?
I guess we'll say Yu-Gi-Oh! It's probably what they're...
Judge, get his ass. Judge. Judge, he's been doing this all game.
So is it different for other games?
Oh, yeah, if it's Digimon, it's like
no big deal. How do their time rules work? Does it not matter as much? Or?
I mean, like, it's just like I care
or
less.
You don't take it seriously.
I just care less about a Digimon game. Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm sweating. If you have me at a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament, I'm sweating. And like... I'm gonna get the judge's attention. I mean, first I'm gonna bring it up with my opponent before I even call the judge.
That's usually my thing. You know, like I always tell people first. I always tell people first. You know, and thankfully I haven't had too many like slow play issues in recent memory. Like occasionally I've kind of had to like remind someone a little bit to like pick up the pace, but it's never gotten much worse than that, and I'm thankful for that because I've seen the crash outs. Like I know it can get a lot uglier. I'm also a strong proponent of like establishing that behavior early in the round as opposed to like waiting for the last 5 minutes to suddenly start getting tense and antsy.
I actually always address the clock before the game start. I usually start with something lighthearted like let's make sure this round isn't going to time, huh?
Yeah.
I mean it.
I mean, I do think that the way that Yu-Gi-Oh works now with these new time rules, it's like, bro, it's just too cutthroat to expect any sympathy from anyone. Like I don't think that you get to really have much tolerance there. Because
I choose to look at it in a more kind of a charitable way. I look at it as both me and my opponent are working together to not go into time. Yes, someone has to win, but it takes both of us to get to the point where somebody gets to win.
It's a collaborative effort.
And so I try to establish early in the match that we are trying to not go into time. And as long as I feel like we're both putting in at least a modicum of effort to try to steer us away from going into time, I'm good. I have yet to have the situation with the new time rules where it's like I'm like kind of molding because my opponent's just dragging it out.
Yeah. I can't really say I can speak from any experience because I I haven't faced many of my friends in like serious tournaments, believe it or not. Like,
because we're too bad. We're always in the back tables and Paul's way up somewhere higher.
Right. Yeah. No, but it doesn't happen very much. So
now, in Digimon, I have a very different relationship with the time rules in that game. Because
it seems more laid back, I guess.
When they call, this is how I feel about it, really.
Okay.
Is that when they call time in Digimon, it's we do 3 turns, and if no one gets beat in those 3 turns, that specific game is called a draw, and then you just figure out like who won the first couple
that's
games.
so much more low octane.
It's not as high octane, and for me, I typically play Digimon with time in mind. My favorite deck is Mastermon. It's a controlled looping deck. My only goal with Mastermon is to win the first round. Why? Because then I make it incredibly hard for you to beat me before time gets called. I usually play with time in mind when I'm playing Digimon. If you let me get that first game, we're not even going to finish the second game. I'm going to recover my life. I'm going to keep putting up bodies over and over again.
Okay.
And then time gets called and I win. That's not cheating. That's just how the game is played.
Yeah. Well, I can say this. I mean, I haven't had to really deal with the situation much, but I think that I wouldn't really hesitate to like, I would first, even if it's a friend, I would tell them first that I think, you need to pick up the pace. And then I would let them know that like I'm going to call a judge if they don't. And if I call the judge and they're mad, usually I feel like it kind of just, maybe this is like kind of a nasty way of looking at it, but sometimes I feel like you just got to let people crash out and like cry about it on their own time. Like, because I don't really know that there's much else you can say. Like, I haven't had any friendship get like destroyed over a game of Yu-Gi-Oh, thankfully. But I know that there are people that I know who they just don't take losing well. And so like, I just afford them the time to do their little crash out. And then usually they like get over it and it's fine the next day. So
but the reverse is, now what happens when someone calls the judge on you?
I don't know that I've like ever gotten a judge like called on me for anything like that. Not like time related. It just, if anything, I usually in my Yu-Gi-Oh games, I'm more in the position where like, if I play something and they don't really understand how it works, I typically will like invite my opponent to call the judge. I would literally rather you call the judge than me tell you something that gets kind of misconstrued or whatever. So I'll tell people like this is how this works, but if you're unsure, feel free to call the judge. Because like I'm not about to sit here and like lie to you. I'm not, in the business of misrepresenting things. So as far as I'm concerned, I think if somebody called the judge on me, I guess I don't think I would freak out. Like I don't think I'd be that mad, but I guess I won't know until it happens.
Like, my thing is, so I don't slow play. Like if playing into time is to my advantage, then I'm going to draw out the matchup to go into time. But if going to time is not to my advantage, I'm not going to manipulate the mandatory game mechanics to draw the game out. The gameplay will draw the game out, never my own actions. I don't slow play. Now, if my opponent calls a judge because they suspect me of slow playing, I'm going to be incredibly offended. I'm going to say something to you that's going to make you call the judge for real, and then you're going to have a real reason to call the judge.
Yeah, so you're not a good sport.
You don't call the judge on me for slow play because I don't do that. So like if you have anything else with my play, that's fine. Rulings, card legality, like even if you suspect me of cheating, that is fine, but not slow play.
You're the crash out.
That's the one thing I don't do.
You're the crash out. Like, you're gonna
call the judge over. The judge is gonna try and give me a warning. Then I'm gonna say something so foul that the judge is going to give me like a game.
Yeah, Alec is gonna get himself
I'm gonna get like disqualified out of the event.
I think
like if you want an easy win on me, you call the judge on me.
Yeah,
for
get
time.
him nice and pissed off. I'll keep it in mind. I mean, I will say this. I think like while it sounds like a sort of belligerent approach, I will add that everybody has this idea in their head that they aren't slow playing. And unfortunately, there are also some people who, and I don't think this is describing you, but I've just met players like this, who, in addition to never feeling that they are slow playing, they also feel that everybody else is slow playing them. And what sucks about a game like Yu-Gi-Oh, and I can't speak to other games, so I'm sure it's similar, is like everyone draws the line in front of themselves.
Yeah, true.
And it always just comes down to like whether it is to your benefit or to your detriment for a certain person to have been slow playing. If you lost, well, it's because your opponent slow played. If you won, it's not because you slow played. It's as simple as that. And like people, it's easy to, I guess, pretend to be an upstanding person. Like I like to think I am, but everybody, like the moment that salt takes over, I mean, I think it just changes people. Like
I think the moment you've said the phrase "they slow played me," you've actually admitted to having slow played someone else before.
Precisely.
I think you can't look. You won't. I don't think you're able to actually look at slow playing as an offensive thing, unless it's something that's in your bag just as well.
So this is like a life thing. I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's sort of a life thing I've always had is when somebody accuses somebody of like a particular sort of like, how to put this, of doing something that they can't entirely prove, but they sort of assume intent. Like, oh, like you like slow played me. I always get this thought in the back of my head that like, it's like you said, like you must kind of have done that before too. Like that must be like a thought that you would have had in that same situation is like, oh, I would have slow played in that situation. So because like that's kind of why you can't assume better of other people.
Right.
You know, there's exceptions to that. I get it. It's a nuanced thing. But it does make you wonder, like, if somebody is always saying after all their Yu-Gi-Oh losses and only their losses that it's just because my opponent slow played me. I got slow played round 1. I got slow played round 2. I got slow played round 3. I won round 4. I won round 5. I got slow played round 6. It's like, I mean, it kind of sounds like you're the sort of person who slow plays when given the opportunity.
And then, like, when you're not slow playing, you're getting slow played, and so that's why you lost. Like,
yeah.
I don't actually remember a time in memory where I believed I'd lost a game because my opponent was slow playing me. I've been sharked on rulings, and I'm sure I've been cheated a couple times, but I've never been like my opponent slow played me, that's why I lost. That's not really.
Yeah.
I don't think that's not really a thing. If I've lost, and I've lost games in time before, but I've never thought we went into time because my opponent was specifically slow playing me. I look at time as a mutual thing to some degree. If
it's
we
like
went into time, we both share the like somewhat slow, like.
Yeah,
like when we played and went to time in that which tournament was that?
Yeah, like a recent tournament.
In that recent Yu-Gi-Oh local, we went into time. I didn't think you slow played me. I would definitely don't feel like I was trying to slow play you, but we went into time.
I think Yu-Gi-Oh also gives me a certain amount of like empathy around it. I know that Yu-Gi-Oh's hard. I really do. Like I know that it's brutal and game states are a lot, and like, you know, I like to think that I don't slow play people, and I've never really felt like anyone has slow played me. Like, not really. Like, I mean, sometimes I have these like inkling thoughts, like maybe they were doing it, but then I'm just like, I don't know. What the fuck evidence do I have of any of that? And even in the situations where I'm like, oh yeah, I think maybe they did. It's just some game that like ended in a draw. Like, I don't know. I think I'm far more perceptive of like just sharking and stuff than I am of like slow playing, but who knows? Okay, well the next question is, hey Paul and Alec. This one comes from Black Star. This is actually a long-time channel member, I believe. Like I think they've been like a pod member for a while.
Shout out to Black Star.
I was talking with a friend. He said if an anime gets remastered or revamped, he can't watch the original because it feels outdated. While I said I can still prefer the original because sometimes the remaster can't capture what made the show special. Obviously, you can enjoy both, but what side do you guys lean towards? Would you say you're team original or team remaster? Love the pod. Peace from Mac.
Ooh.
This is actually a very good question. Like here, I thought we were gonna have like a pod that's like under 2 hours for a change. Maybe not.
Bruh, like,
Oh man.
so there have been quite a few remastered anime in the last like decade, and I guess for me personally, I don't have a problem with remastered anime. The visuals are typically just fine with me.
Okay.
I don't, but what usually is my sticking point is usually the voice acting, the dubbing, and the choices in voice actors.
Yeah, I know. I'm the same way actually. Well, maybe I'm the same way. Like, let me find an example, so I'm not just speaking in vague ambiguities. The Rurouni Kenshin remaster recently that started in 2023. Really liked it. I'm a big Rurouni Kenshin fan in general. You know, mangaka be damned, I know. But, like, I'm a big Rurouni Kenshin fan. Loved, like, the Samurai X.
These problematic creators.
I know. I like Harry Potter. These people are crazy. You got to separate the art from the artist. But, like, I like the original Rurouni Kenshin anime, and I also like the remaster. I will admit that it took some growing on me at first because the thing that I originally missed was, like, that original soundtrack. For me, it's always, like, these soundtracks because I tend to associate my feelings for a show kind of get, like, they're tied to, like, it's the opening, the ending, like, sort of soundtrack in certain moments. And so that's usually, like, my point of like my jumping on or jumping off point. And so it was tough for me to like just get used to like this doesn't have the same music, and like so it doesn't hit the same. Like it's like I could totally deal with the new animation or whatever. It's just if it just had that music. But then I get over it usually.
Yeah, like so visuals don't bother me all that much with the change. But man, the voices and the music, it's a huge sticking point for me. It's like for that reason, like I like the Rurouni Kenshin remake, but the original soundtrack, I will still go back for that. I can watch either one, but the original still has a place for me. I remember watching the Gundam Seed remaster, and it looks really good. There are plenty of awkward like moments in the original Gundam Seed that is, they look a little strange, but I can't actually write off the original because I only ever watched Gundam Seed dubbed, and the remaster's dub changes
it's not
some
for
things,
you.
and I can't quite get behind it. So visually, I love it. Voice work, I'm like, I want to go back to the original.
I will say this: I think that I prefer remasters for introducing people to anime because a lot of times, if you want to introduce somebody to like there's actually a recent example. I was visiting some people a couple weeks ago, some friends, and like it was like this boyfriend and girlfriend, and the boyfriend was like trying to introduce. We were both sort of introducing his girlfriend to anime, and a lot of his favorite anime are like on the older end, Hunter x Hunter, Yu Yu Hakusho, things like that. And so it was like pulling up these clips of it on YouTube, kind of these snippets, which that's already like not a great idea because like YouTube clips are always so chopped up but anyway, and like I think that for her as like a normie, there was just a sort of a barrier of just an old 90s show that you kind of
they don't have the appreciation for that art style.
Yeah, because for us, it's like I can go back and rewatch Rurouni Kenshin and plenty of other 90s anime, and like it's fine. I know what I'm getting into. I know the appeal and allure of that, how anime was made then. But like, same with Yu-Gi-Oh, that's like a good one. But for her, it was a lot easier to we ended up like showing her an episode of like My Hero Academia, and it was just like, it's this nice, vibrant, full screen, just modern animation kind of techniques. And she took to it a lot faster. And it's not to say that, like, My Hero is better than Yu Yu Hakusho. Not getting into that can of worms.
I wouldn't even have said that sentence.
Yeah, I know. But it's nothing to do with that. And it's more to do with, like, if you are introducing somebody to, like, I know they're doing the One Piece. They're remastering, they're, like, remaking those older One Piece episodes. And it's like, I think for somebody to get into One Piece, that would probably be a little bit better if you're trying to get a normie in.
But you're losing that glorious 4Kids dub.
Yeah, so that's kind of my thing is like I like remakes and remasters because the modern niceties can be better appreciated almost from like that normie perspective. Like it's just, you know, I don't think I would want to show somebody a kind of 4:3 aspect ratio thing.
But boy, do I wish I could just show people the original Mobile Suit Gundam.
Have they like not remastered that?
Have they remastered? They've done all sorts of different reinterpretations of the original, but they have always stopped short of actually just going episode by episode remasters.
Right, okay.
They don't do that. You can usually watch a movie or something that, you know, would upgrade animation and stuff. But I hold that, you know, that the original series.
So on average, what do you
special
prefer
about it?
On average, what do you find yourself leaning towards? Was his question. And on average, remasters or originals?
I'm like split down the middle because it's not the visuals for me; it's the voice work.
If I had to pick a side, I think I tend to lean towards originals, probably, but it's only a slight leaning. Like, I'm not fighting anybody who tells me that they just choose to watch a remaster of something, and I usually will watch both.
For me, like, remasters are great because they look good. Though I notice oftentimes I don't play them with sound.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I'll watch clips of remastered anime all day on mute.
Yeah, I think for me, the original is it's got the memories with you. You know, like that's kind of when you got into the thing. So I think I lean towards originals, but remasters, there's a place for them. I'm not fighting a remaster.
Yeah, so I for once, I can't really take a hard stance on it. I'm kind of in the middle.
So that's it for this week's episode of the Pod of Greed. Hopefully you all enjoyed our surprisingly deep discussion on like slow playing and anime remakes.
We just like to yap.
Yeah, always here for that. We'll maybe try to get you guys a little bonus episode this week if we can.
Bony.
A little bony. Yeah, wait, y'all can have a bony.
No, you can't. You can't have a bony. You can have a bonus.
Yeah.
Episode.
Thank you to all of you who are channel members that support the pod. It really means a lot. Also, we will be at New York Comic Con next weekend. Figured I should probably mention that as well.
New York.
This is a big deal, especially for Alec, because a lot of times you do not make it out to some of these like recent Yu-Gi-Oh events I've been at, and people always want to meet you, and they're like, they watch the pod and they're just like, "Where's Alec?"
Well, I'll be in New York.
So, yeah, come up and say hi. We'll remind you guys again next week, but next week's episode would go up on Thursday, and at that point, I feel like
we gotta get this in before they're invaded anyway.
Right.
All right. We'll see you guys
in the next one. Pass turn.